Thank you, Gary. Happy Pride, everyone. Please rise in body or spirit to sing our opening hymn, number 114, Forward Through the Ages. All the verses. On this Pride Sunday, we are happy to have Donna Zimmerman give our opening words.
These words were written by U.S. Senator Tammy Baldwin. All of us who are openly gay are living and writing the history of our movement. We are no more and no less heroic than the suffragists and the abolitionists of the 19th century, and the labor organizers, freedom riders, Stonewall demonstrators, and environmentalists of the 20th century. We are ordinary people living our lives and trying, as civil rights activist Dorothy Cotton said, to, quote, fix what ain't right in our society, unquote.
We are fortunate today to have Dr. Sarah Jane Young to present special music on the flute. She has performed in the United States and abroad. She was selected as the professor of flute at the King Hussein Foundation Music Conservatory in Amman, Jordan. While there, she served as principal flute with the Amman Symphony Orchestra and the Amman Sinfonia, as well as the National Music Conservatory Woodwind Quintet. She performed for both Queen Noor and Princess Muna Al Hussein, the Queen and Princess Consorts of Jordan. Sarah Jane is currently on the faculty of the University of West Florida and the Bethune-Cookman University, and is an adjunct instructor at the University of North Florida. As a chamber musician, Sarah Jane performs with the Bold City Contemporary Ensemble here in Jacksonville. was wonderful. Thank you so much. As Jennifer Bachmeister illuminates our chalice, please hear the words of Eric Heller Wagner. Blessed is the fire that burns deep in the soul. It is the flame of the human spirit touched into being by the mystery of life. It is the fire of reason, the fire of compassion, the fire of community, the fire of justice. It is the fire of faith, and it is the fire of love, burning deep in the human heart, the divine glow in every life. Please rise in body or spirit for our call to worship. The words appear in your order of service. It is so good to see each and every one of you here this morning. Welcome to Buckman Bridge Unitarian Universalist Church. We offer a special welcome to first-time visitors, and we hope you will stop by our welcome table near the door where you can obtain information about this church and about our denomination. If you are interested in becoming a member of our congregation, we offer regularly scheduled newcomer classes, and you can speak to any member of the board about those classes. And if you're wondering who the members of the board are, Mr. Rogers says, look for the helpers. I'll just say, look for the people with the yellow name tags because they're board members. Another thing I want to mention is that at the end of the service today, we'll be using the teal supplement to our hymnal. So please glance around and see if there's one handy and or you may have to share with someone. There are many opportunities to serve here at BBUUC. Volunteers are needed and appreciated. They keep our congregation in motion. The easiest way to volunteer is to serve on Sunday mornings as a greeter at the front door or offering hospitality in the kitchen for fellowship time by making coffee and setting up refreshments. There are sign-up sheets on the credenza at the back of the church for both of those opportunities. Today, we are resuming one of our most joyful traditions, Pennies from Heaven. Chris Jarman will tell you more about it.
Let me hear it. Woohoo! Yeah, get our energy up. Okay, so we're going to do Pennies from Heaven, which is, as Elizabeth just said, a tradition at our congregation of on the first Sunday of the month, we pass around cans, the children pass around cans, and we collect any of the change in your pockets or loose dollar bills that you might want to donate. And for the next year, we're going to be doing, and I think I have that right, we're going to be doing the Orange Park Clothes Closet, which is a community help closet located in the city of Orange Park that has a food bank, they have a diaper bank, and they provide household goods for folks in the community that are have been vetted and have been sent there. So there's lots of things that they do to help the folks in Clay County. So I need 2 volunteers. Actually, I need 4. I'm looking around. I need 4 volunteers to help me with the cans because we're trying to all remember how to do this. We haven't done it in over 2 years. This is so exciting. Come on down, Von Keen. Come on up, Ben. Do I have anybody else that might like to volunteer? Let's see. I need 2 adults to volunteer. Can I get 2 adults to volunteer? How about Alyssa and Annabelle? Come on down. All right, and this is the part that we really love. Gary will be playing Pennies from Heaven as you pull out the change from your pocket and make the cans sing. There you go. So you 2 will go down the middle, and we'll have Annabelle go down that side and Alyssa go down that side, or just that way. Awesome. Are we ready? Yeah. And we pass the can. Everything donated will go to charity. Thank you, Joaquin. Thank you. Thank you, Annabelle. Thank you, Alyssa. Woo! That just feels so good to hear that in our sanctuary once again. So, Ben, will you lead us out this morning? So, as we pass this chalice of religious education from one generation to the next, we're going to invite all the adults to remain seated and sing us out to hymn number 413, Go Now in Peace. Thank you.
In this church community, we share each other's joys and concerns because a joy shared is magnified and a concern or sorrow shared helps us to bear one another's burdens. Jennifer has come to light a flame for each of our joys and concerns. We have a candle of joy that the Director of Religious Education Search Committee has posted a job opening for our next DLRE. The board and DLRE Search Committee are committed to honoring the BBUUC tradition, which puts children and religious education at the forefront. Help BBUUC by sharing the job posting on your social media and being involved too. The job opening was posted on the BBUUC public Facebook page yesterday. We also want to light a flame of joy for the senior prom, which will take place here on Saturday, June 11. And we light this final candle for all the joys and concerns that remain in the hidden places in our hearts, unspoken. I invite you this morning to participate in our offering. By giving, you support the work and ministry of this church. We engage in the time-honored tradition of passing the plate, and there are also some newer electronic ways to donate, which you will find at our website, bbuuc.org. I will ask the Sings to please come forward to collect their offering. Once they have finished, please rise in body or spirit for our offertory hymn, number 123, Spirit of Life. We are so glad to welcome someone with a familiar face to our pulpit this morning. Manny Andrade is a life-professed Franciscan brother. He received diaconal orders in 2000 and was ordained a priest in 2003 in the Progressive Independent American Catholic Church. Manny is a social worker serving communities living with HIV since 1989. He married Rusty Turner in 2016. Manny, welcome back to our pulpit.
It is so good to be home, and I was so moved by the glorious music this morning. Thank you so much. Today I'm going to talk about pride, and I want to declare a spiritual manifesto for those who are living with HIV, I'm thinking of work, LGBT folks. I found a wonderful poem by H.P. Rivers, whose pronouns are they, them, and theirs, and they happen to be the director of religious education at the UU Church in Tallahassee. And I'll read. Blessed are the wanderers seeking affirmation. Blessed are the worshipers praying from closets, pulpits, pews, and hardship. Blessed are the lovers of leaving family and familiarity, leaving tables where love is not being served. Blessed are those who stay. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for justice, for they will be satisfied. Blessed are the queer, disciples of truth, living, breathing, sacred reflections of divine love. Now, I'm calling this sermon a manifesto, and normally the word manifesto is used as a public declaration of policy and aims. Often a manifesto is issued before an election by a political party or a candidate. But the term manifesto was also used early in the LGBT movement, shortly after the Stonewall riots, as a demand for LGBT human rights. I remember as a young man reading a manifesto for gay liberation written in the early 70s. And as a result of that, after the Stonewall riots, there was a flowering of hope and a newfound sense of power, which joined together with the excitement and promise of a new day for LGBT folks. The Stonewall riots cemented and gave rise to many of the freedoms we enjoy today. And a good example is marriage equality in 30 nations. The phrase gay liberation, of course, goes way back to the early 70s when LGBT folks were all under the umbrella of gay. Do you remember gay girls? I think they're called lesbians now. Over the years, as an ever-evolving movement, the use of language has become more refined. Over the years, we see how even the pride flag recently has changed to become more inclusive. This inclusivity is brought forth by, there's a process of growth and discernment and understanding that we ourselves are going through and sharing with our allies and supporters. And this discernment and this change actually is a way of affirming our rightful place at the table. Now, there's clearly a direct connection between the poem I read and the Beatitudes in the book of Matthew in the Second Testament. I see the Beatitudes, or blessings, as a manual on compassion. If you may remember, the Beatitudes offer hope. The poor in spirit are given the kingdom of heaven. Those who mourn are given comfort. The meek will be exalted. Those who hunger and thirst for righteousness will be filled. The merciful will be shown mercy. The pure in heart will see God. The peacemakers will be called children of God. And those who are persecuted because of righteousness will be given the kingdom of heaven. Now, the compassion and largesse of these statements really is striking. And however comforting the words may be, I ask myself, how do we get from mourning to comfort, from meek to inheriting the earth? Did I miss a step here? Or is this perhaps a call for me to offer comfort, to show mercy, to be a peacemaker, and to work for justice? These words directly draw a spiritual path. And before arriving at this conclusion, I always assumed that somehow mercy would show up or goodness was on its way. Now that idea seems to be a bit off for me. Will somehow things work out? I ask myself, what is my role and responsibility in bringing these blessings? Do we find mercy, justice, and goodness, or do we create it? When I read the poem to myself the first time, Blessed Are the Queer, I immediately saw a manifesto, and I want to bring to you what it brought to light to me, how it made sense to me, and why I would call it a declaration, a manifesto. Blessed is the wanderer seeking affirmation and validation. In a world that often devalues and dismisses LGBT folks, The road in life can be difficult. Take, for example, the word queer. Previously, it was used as a pejorative. The word queer was used to hurt, control, and demean LGBT folks. Well, we took the word back. Queer. We claimed it and made it our own. In other words, we realized that we own this word. A tool of oppression was nullified when we said, yeah, I am queer. You know what? It's a pretty good thing. Now, I remember marching proudly down Fifth Avenue. This is when the parade started in the Village and ended at the Sheep Meadow in Manhattan. And this was the early 80s, and we were chanting, "I'm queer, I'm here, get used to it." And it was a liberating moment, you know. A year later, I moved and I was working for an AIDS organization in Richmond, Virginia. And during the Pride celebration there, I joined the locals chanting, "We're queer, we're here, we're fabulous. Get used to it." I knew that the pejorative power of that word evaporated. I owned myself completely, and whatever problems people had, it was on them. Blessed are the worshipers praying from closets. How many closeted folks, fearful of repercussion, attend houses of worship and feel forced to deny their full humanity for fear of being ostracized? Think of the countless church music directors who, within their congregations, must deny who they are for fear of losing their livelihood. Boy, I could name a few folks that I know who are parts of congregations who, in order to keep their job, they have to be quiet. They have to suppress who they are. Think also of communities of faith who cherry pick pieces of scripture to suit racist, homophobic, and misogynist rhetoric. Marcus Borg is a great contemporary theologian. I eat his stuff up with a spoon. I like what this man writes. But he says, the Bible is a human product. It tells us how our religious ancestors saw things, not how God sees things. Boy, does that put stuff in perspective. Why am I hankered down by the writings that were done by a group of people who wandered in the desert during the Iron Age? You know, let's kind of move things up a little and try to make more sense of all of this. Blessed are lovers of leaving, where love is not being served. How many LGBT youth who come out to their families are forced to leave their homes and end up homeless and living on the streets? There they find themselves facing danger, unprepared to deal with abuse because they don't have the survival tools they need. Often these youth are forced to engage in survival sex work in order to have a place to sleep or to get a meal. And if you know the agency Jasmine in town, that story is repeated over and over again. And that's a reality. So, blessed are those who stay in youth shelters. And blessed are those embraced by loving families willing to work out their differences in a constructive way. Blessed are those who model healthy and loving behaviors so that the younger generations can construct the emotional tools they need to lead a fulfilling life. Blessed be. Blessed are those who thirst for justice, those who march, those who feed and house the homeless, those who vote, those whose vision opens avenues of hope for others. Blessed are the oppressed in various parts of the world as governments persecute LGBT folks as an easy distraction away from their agendas and their corruption. It's easy to blame the queers rather than show what's actually going on. So, blessed are the Russian and the Muslim LGBT activists who, while facing danger in their respective homeland, stare down corruption and persecution. Blessed be. Blessed are those who have not bought into forced stereotypes. Blessed are those queer disciples of truth who see themselves as whole and as worthy reflections of the divine, that divine spark that's in all of us. Blessed are those whose very existence reminds humanity that LGBT folks have been here all along, all throughout the ages. Do you remember a couple of years ago I spoke about the comrade love of the samurais and queer cowboys in the West writing poems to each other? We've been here all along. We have been hidden, we've been dismissed, we've been minimized, and sometimes tragically obliterated. But even before the time, and my ancient Egyptian is rusty, so bear with me, of Kumhotep and Nianchchnum, a thoroughly documented Egyptian gay male couple from the 25th century, we've always been here. We will always be here. We will not go away. We will continue to reflect the love that is part of our very core of existence. We will continue to reflect our own truth. We will continue to walk our own spiritual path. We will continue to bask in the love and support of our natural families and our families of choice when the natural families are not there. We will continue to walk the path of integrity with our allies. We are blessed. Amen. Namaste. Blessed be.
Please rise in body or spirit for our closing hymn, which is in the teal hymnal, number 1007. There's a river flowing in my soul. We'll sing all of it, which is twice through. And please remain standing after the hymn for our benediction, which will be given by Eli Garcia. 3 verses. Sing it 3 times, please.
Hello, I'm Eli Garcia, doing the benediction. Jennifer Bachmeister extinguishes the chalice. We close our service with this blessing, written by Bishop John Stowe. May the source of life and love fill you with the joy of knowing your great dignity and worth as a child of the universe, a child who is created in love and filled with blessings from the first moment of your life.